AG1 does over 600 million a year in revenue with one product. No retail stores, no Amazon, it's all direct to consumer. And most people think it's because they spend millions on podcast ads with people like Huberman and Tim Ferriss. And obviously this plays a big role, but that's not why their customers stay. The real engine behind AG1 is their lifecycle marketing. The emails, the SMS, and in my perspective, more importantly, the subscription experience, the way they handle cancellations. That is what takes somebody from a first-time customer to a subscriber who actually sticks around for years. And that's the thing that I see most brands trying to copy AG1 completely miss. Hi, my name is George, and I run a lifecycle marketing agency called Yocto. We're Klaviyo Elite Partners, which basically puts us in the top 44 out of over 16,000 agencies globally. We work with brands doing hundreds of millions a year in revenue, and I personally sit on Klaviyo's partner advisory council. So when I look at the brand's lifecycle strategy, I'm not just looking at the surface level stuff. I can see what's actually driving retention behind the scenes. And in this video, I'm going to break down AG1's entire marketing playbook, starting from the landing page, then the email sequences and the campaigns and the subscription retention tactics that they have. I'm going to show you all of it. And I'm going to show you exactly how you could too apply the same strategy to your brand so you can stop ultimately losing subscribers and start building the kind of customer retention that makes a business extremely valuable. So let's begin. So the first thing that a lot of you should do is head over to an ad library. This is a third-party tool that I'm using, but you don't want to just go to the homepage. You want to see what ads is a company running, and then there are all of the ads that they're running, and then you want to see what is the exact landing page they are sending traffic to. And AG1, like all of the top brands, is running multiple tests. You see there's different versions of the same landing page, different messaging here, different messaging there. There's even some other products that they are pushing these days. But if you really simplify things, and if you take a look at the lander, what you'll see is that it's pushing subscription. It's trying to make you start as a subscription customer. And not just this, but also make you feel that the price that you pay, which it's like quite high, right? Like relative to other products, it's actually worth it. The experience that you get is more than the price that you pay for, even though it's expensive. So take a look, for example, at this section here with the welcome kit. What is this? It says that you're getting a canister, a scoop, and a shaker, all of which is meant to do what? It's meant to allow you, first of all, obviously to use the product without any friction, but more importantly, it's also meant to make it something that you easily see on a daily basis, and then that you can actually just not forget taking it, which is a very big deal. They are also giving you a serving of their other product, which does what? It makes you be more invested into the brand. You're getting a free gift. That's a nice thing. You will try that other product, and perhaps you like how both products make you feel, so maybe you will also buy that too. But importantly, it also gets you better results because the combination of the products is better than its individual product alone. You are getting a money back guarantee. You can obviously update or cancel anytime. Again, the idea is that it's very easy to try it out as a subscription because there's no downside. Then obviously tons of social proof here, more social proof. So you get the authority first. Probably these people played a role in you being in this website in the first place. And then you see what actual people like you are saying about the product. Obviously the number of 5-star reviews is very high, which plays a role. And then there's scientific proof below. But here's the key. Within 3 months, they are already planting the idea that you actually need to take this for a longer period of time, and like just a one-off is not going to do anything for you. There's quite a bit of substantiation about the product itself down below, and then it goes with reviews. Again, there's everything here is meant to convince you that A, this is worth it, B, it's better taken as a subscription, and 3, the subscription actually is super easy to use because of the welcome kit and all of those other add-ons that they're giving you. So if you go through the FAQ, even the FAQ is actually trying to nudge you to kind of subscribe, right? So again, it pushes the 3-month, it substantiates this with an actual research, which you can actually go and check. I have a video about Fatty 15 in this channel that they do the same thing. This is the best way to communicate scientific research. You want to give, of course, the information quickly to people in an easy to understand way, but then you want to also have the ability for people to go and actually see what the study is. And then, there's like a bunch of other things down below. Now, let's see how the buying experience is, because this really is just the landing. So when you click here, what happens is that you get redirected to this page, which essentially has, this is a very powerful thing. It focuses your attention and reduces all clutter around it. So it's super easy to, like, you have this binary option here. And then let's say you select this. This is where the genius really starts to come through, because what they do is that they are essentially nudging you to buy more for your family or for your partner. And Obviously, this will increase AOV tremendously, right? Like, because imagine that 10% of people gets a family subscription. Imagine that 20% of people get a double subscription. The numbers are probably going to be even higher, but just having this as an option, it does what? It plants the idea of introducing the brand to people you care about into your brain. It improves your first order economics, right? Some people will do get this. And then what this does, increases AOV, increases consequently the allowable cost to acquire a customer. So this does help on the advertising level as well. And then of course, you have the try once option, and the try once option is strictly worse than the subscription. Strictly worse. How is it strictly worse? You are not getting the welcome kit, and you basically need to go through the effort of having to reorder. So there's more hassle to actually getting the product. And I want to just quickly say here that if you are getting less than 80% of new customers buying from subscription, there's room to optimize this experience that I walked you through, the landing page, the buying widget. In this case, AG1, this is typically done within the product page itself. They have it separate, which is a good thing because they are focusing your attention on this information alone without any distraction. But the sum total of this experience should be giving you 80% plus of people starting as a subscription. If that's not the case, then you should have plenty of room to optimize your acquisition offer. But that's just the first step. What happens next? That's where it gets really interesting, because what they do to convert OTPs, meaning one-time purchasers, or frankly leads to subscription customers, is what comes next. And let's take a look. So these are some of the flows that we're going to check today. And let's just start with the welcome journey itself. So we're going to start with this. First thing, they are kicking off right away with the offer, which is for the subscription. A lot of you are shy to do this, but you should be doing this. You should be leading with your biggest offer, and the biggest offer should be your subscription offer. This will get more attention than, say, like no discount or 10% off or whatever it is. And then the code obviously is automatically applied. Tons of social proof. Again, reinforcing the freebie, the welcome kit. It's just well done all over the board. So first they start with a strong offer. What they do next? Build a better day with AG1 next 10. So again, reinforcing the offer. Here's what they don't do. They don't have a long email or like explanation about this is why we created the brand. No, they know that this doesn't matter at this point. What they have to do is get that first sale. And after they have this first sale, they can begin indoctrinating you, if you will. So this is another mistake that a lot of you do. You are basically trying too early to try to explain the brand and the benefits. No, you don't want to do this early. You want to get the sale. This is a conversion-based flow. The welcome flow is a conversion-based flow. So let's take a look at this. Subscribe for AG1, AGZ. They have this alternative offer that they are promoting. Again, limited time offer, conversion focused. Then your free welcome kit is waiting. Another conversion focused email starts to get into the benefits a little bit more, but it is fundamentally, clearly a conversion focused flow, which is what your flow should look like as well. Let's take a look at the new account flow. How do we compare? Here, I like what they do because a lot of brands have this section, but they basically say that everything else sucks and it's only them that have all of the advantages. In this case, they're clearly, that's the narrative of the company, right? Like they're clearly combining a lot of other solutions in one easy to take solution, but they will say that it's not that like we have better vitamins, right? Like you can also get the multivitamin. You can also get probiotics. You can also get greens. What they do say is that we're making it way more convenient, way more enjoyable, and way easier to stick to, which is the benefit of the brand. 90 days of consistency, super important. They tell you what to expect. Month 1 timeline, month 2 timeline, 3-month timeline. And then just want to take a moment to use this as an opportunity to talk about this particular section. And frankly, the compare section that I showed just before, a lot of people overcomplicate the email design. They're like, oh, what should our emails look like? What should they do? And they ultimately are just landing pages in disguise. I've opened another company. You can see they have a timeline as well. 24 hours, 3 days, week 1, month 3, month 6 to 12. And if you open any top brand that has a subscription-based model, you'll see that they all use some sort of timeline to set the expectations and to tell you what you should expect, which goes to show that what works on the landing page does work on the emails as well. And you don't need to overcomplicate the, layout and the style of the emails. What you want are the exact same conversion elements that work on the landing page. You want to apply them to your emails as well. Notice how they're doing their social proof. They're using essentially a format that is commonly used in studies. This automatically makes it feel more legit, that at this time frame, this percent of users felt that percent of users felt that other thing. And then obviously They go on and on and on. They have this very, very strong claim that it's the best thing you can do to support your health in 60 seconds. Again, everything is tied into that promise of declutter, simplify, get it all done quickly, which is why the subscription also makes sense. Again, the idea is everything reinforces the subscription at the end of the day. Let's take a look at the abandoned flow, time to invest in you. Again, how does this compare? Very clearly, something that you can see on every top performing landing page. It's very obvious that, again, if you're sitting there and you're thinking like, how can I optimize my emails? You should think, how can I optimize my conversions? And the same thing you would do on the ads, the same thing you would do on the landing page, you should do on the email. How can I more quickly convey information, create contrast, make it easy to understand, and ultimately persuasive? It's the exact same concept. Here, they're using, again, the welcome kit to nudge you to get the subscription, obviously, because you won't get it without the subscription. Less supplements, more benefits. Always pushing the claim and the benefit of subscription. Don't miss your trial. Last chance, your card is expiring. So everything they have here is meant to get you to trust that the subscription is the single best choice you can make. Now, on top of this, let's take a look at the emails that they're sending. And by the way, they're sending a lot of emails. This is another thing that you should take away from this. I'm not too shy about sending emails. A lot of you are like, oh, like, am I sending too much? I'm sending like once a month, twice a week. Is it too much? No, they're sending tons of emails. And if they can get away with it with one product, can you not get away with it? The other thing I want to call out, obviously they have massive celebrity endorsements and partnerships. But take a look at this. This is a very, very interesting format. Essentially, they're using Hugh Jackman to add credibility to what they do, right? It's borrowing credibility, borrowing authority. And it's not just them. Like, take a look at, this is one of our clients. This is one of the emails sent recently. It uses Gary Brecka to, again, get interest from people. And the beauty of doing this is that for the right audience, this guy is very well known, is very trustworthy. So if this is his collection, or if we go back to AG1, this is the choice of Hugh Jackman, boom, you are in a way hijacking their brain and immediately coming across as trustworthy. And you might be thinking, well, I don't have Hugh Jackman. I don't have Schwarzenegger or whoever to partner with. Well, you should think through ways that you can hijack authority. If not through a direct partnership like this, the question is, who does my audience already trust? And then how can I give those people what they want so that they can endorse me? So it's pretty powerful. And this style of email absolutely crushes it in the health and wellness space, simply because it's an industry that has a lot of snake oil and people don't know what to trust. So when somebody that you already trust legitimizes what you do, it's so much more trustworthy. Now, let's take a look at what they do post-purchase. And the obvious thing that you should check here is that it's not one thank you message. It's not a simple order confirmation followed by a review request, followed by a cross-sell. There is a whole journey here. And this journey has 3 separate steps. There's the transactional step, which is literally order confirmation. It's your order has arrived. There's the pre-delivery marketing communication. The founder and CEO welcomes you. And then on top of this, there's the after product delivery marketing communication. Those all have 3 separate goals. Transactional, you want to allay my concerns. You want to make me feel good about my purchase so that I know what to expect and I'm not like just in the dark. A lot of you leave your customers in the dark and you shouldn't. Pre-delivery, you want me to feel nice about my choice and you want me to essentially start buying into what the product and the brand is about, and then potentially answer some questions that I may have, such as, is this worth the money? Who else uses this? Is this a good value? Like all of those things, most shoppers have, and this is the step to actually answer them before they even receive the product. By the time they receive the product, they should have no questions left, because now your content and your messaging is meant to do one thing only. You are meant to get them to create a ritual around the product. You are meant to get them to actually tie the usage of the product with a habit that they already have. And let's take a look at some of those emails so that we can review together. So this is pure brand building. It's the CEO. He's going through the, notice how the story is after somebody buys, by the way. A lot of you do this before they buy. Nobody cares before they buy. After they buy, it's a different story. And then what does it do? It builds an identity. You're taking ownership of your health. You're not just a person that bought a supplement. No, you're a person that cares about your health, that does the smart and simple choice of reducing all of the clutter and actually taking ownership of how you're going to get healthier. So this might look simple, but there's a lot of psychology behind it. Then, we have, of course, the transactional emails. It's on its way. What does this do? Programs you to trust that you made a good choice, supports your immune system, boosts your metabolism, protects your cells. It's all meant to actually make me feel that, okay, I didn't waste my time. I actually did the right choice. This is going to be a valuable product for my routine. Then Again, why does it have so many ingredients? Because of this here. There's like decades of research. We make no compromises. You can learn more here. All of the questions that the user may have. Again, did I make the right choice? Is this worth the money? Who is recommending or using this? What can I expect? All of this is meant to address those questions. And you have to do the same for your brand, because otherwise you're losing people before they actually cancel. They just like never buy into the whole idea. And then obviously they're not going to use the product. Let's take a look at this is what happens when you actually receive the product. It triggers when it arrives. So take a look at what they do. Trying to get you all ready to establish a routine. Take it in the morning, empty stomach, so that it absorbs better. They give you a reason why. Keep it simple. That's it. Like cold water. Keep it cold. Like basically, they are as much as possible trying to get you to use it in the way it's intended so that you get the results. Why? So that you get the results and actually want to stick to the product. And the package has it all. I don't have the package right here to show you what it says. I actually bought the product for this video, but it hasn't arrived yet, sadly. But I'm sure that the packaging itself has tons of info of like, why should I use it? How do I use it? What can I expect? And probably I'm willing to bet there is some sort of offer. I might do a follow-up video on this after it actually arrives. If you do want me to do a follow-up video, leave a comment. Then the info here is basically telling me, how should I take it? How do I like make it nicer for me? Again, meant for me to enjoy the product, use the product. 7 steps to a new routine, trying to get me to build a habit. There's a link here with the recommendations there. Link to contact them in case I have questions. Head of nutrition. Should I really take it special? Should I really take it daily rather? Is it really special? They are, again, trying to, as much as possible, make me believe it's worth it. Yes, you have to take it daily. It's gonna be good for you. Then educating me more. Playlist specifically for me. What is this? Let's stay on the playlist. This we call digital IP. So the welcome kit they give you is a physical freebie, like an add-on that you get. And obviously it increases the value of the subscription, nudging you to, of course, want to start a subscription. What they have here is a digital IP. And you should think in terms of physical and digital add-ons that you can add to the subscription. The value of the subscription is not just the discount. It's all of those other things that you do around the subscription. And the one thing that they could have done better here is to take this concept that we're giving you something digital on top of the physical gift and have it be on the landing page. Now, I don't know if the playlist itself would be valuable enough to make it to the landing page, but imagine you are selling something that is related to sleep. And imagine that you have content or a course that is digital, fully digital, and it helps you understand sleep and how you can sleep more quickly and how you can sleep more deeply. This could have made its way to the landing page. You could have this digital IP that is exclusive to subscribers on your lander, increasing the perceived value of the subscription, increasing the people that subscribe from the get-go, increasing the value that you get from each customer, increasing ultimately the amount of money you can spend advertising, and in so doing the scale potential and enterprise value of your company. So this little thing here has a lot of background behind it. But they do this in a very good way. They are essentially educating you on the benefits. They're giving you unannounced freebies to make you feel delighted. Like imagine, when was the last time a brand that you shopped from gave you some sort of gift that you were not expecting? Doesn't happen too often, does it? But when it does, it creates a positive association in your mind immediately with that company. Then they're talking about energy, and this essentially is an educational email. I don't particularly love that sort of email, if I'm honest. I think that it really needs to be valuable to justify itself. If somebody can Google this information, don't send it. You have to make it meaningfully better than what is freely available on Google or ChatGPT, or else don't even send it in the first place. What they have done here, as far as I can tell, is that they have curated relevant information. So they've taken info from the World Health Organization, and then it's giving us, I guess, like a good summary of the available info. What I would have liked to see is this to be more interactive, to ask me a question, to make me intrigued and curious, and then have me interact with the company. A company that does this extremely well is dermatology. They have a whole section of educational resources on the website. It's also like a massive company. They do like over 200 million. If you want to see like, I think a slightly better execution, take a look at dermatology. But the principle here is that they want to add value through the send, educate you, and give you an extra reason why this is a good company to be subscribed to. Now, I want you to take a look at, this is the email I received after I recently placed an order. And at the very top of this email, there is the member portal. When you click on the member portal, what you get is this. Now, what this does is that it serves as a very simple way for you to manage your subscription. And if you have a subscription model, you probably have this built already to an extent. It's called your customer portal in the Shopify D2C space. What they do, which is very interesting, is that they have a lot of other options that are available exclusively to members. You can't buy this unless you're a member. And then you can easily add to subscription, add to next order. So if it is something that you want to try, one click, done. Zero friction. You just added it to your subscription or to the next order, which means what? They increase the number of people that actually do it. Because if you have to put out a credit card, it's just unnecessary friction. So let's do this. Product added, done. I don't need to do anything else. Did you see how simple it was? Now, what is interesting here is what actually happens when I press cancel. Let's see. I haven't actually canceled. This is the first time I'm seeing it too. We are sorry to see you go. Why are you canceling your AG1 subscription? Okay, so far, this is as expected, but it can be done better. I'll tell you later on what can be better. Let's see. I don't like the taste. Interesting. This I quite like. They have a custom treatment for this specific reason. They are basically telling me this is how you can make it less flavorful, and there's like a bunch of recipes linked below. I'm moving or traveling. Okay, I can change my address. I can switch to travel packs. Haven't noticed any benefit. Many members report the full benefits at 90 days of consistent daily use. Then if I press on this, it takes me to the actual landing page that lists all of the benefits in great detail. This is pretty good. Now, notice what they did. They took me away from the cancellation page, right? Like, I don't know how to get back. I lost the progress I made. I need to start again from cancel subscription. And again, hopefully my editor hides my details and you don't see my address. So what I don't like about this is that before you ask me why I'm trying to go, before you say we're sorry to see you go, I want another screen which reminds me of why I subscribed in the first place. So instead of saying we're sorry to see you go, why are you canceling? I would like them to say, take a look, you might miss something important, something like this. And then I want a video down below that shows me, can be the head of nutrition that they featured on an email, it can be that person telling me, remember how difficult it was to get all of those nutrients spread across 10 different supplements. And actually most people that switch to AG1 end up saving XYZ amount of money. And of course, if you want to go, you are free to go. And then they could even segment the message. And if I'm a new subscriber, they could tell me most people see results after they stick to the product for a period of time, so that like it immediately addresses this very likely scenario where I'm like, I don't see anything, so I'm just going to cancel. And then for older subscribers or longer lasting subscribers, they could have some other sort of messaging, such as try another flavor if you're having issues. Like they could essentially proactively try to address what the issue is before I even get into the cancellation. And then once I am ultimately here, and then I say I have more than I need, they can have the treatment, which they do, and they do pretty well for its individual reason. Interestingly, they don't do so for the medical reason, which is, a good thing. You don't want to persuade people that are getting sick. So I'm going to select this, which has a treatment, and then I'm going to go cancel subscription. Boom, my subscription got canceled. And this is another thing. Now, I don't want you to leave thinking that AG1 has everything figured out. That's why I'm calling those things out. At this point, what they should have done is have what we call a save offer. So ideal case scenario, I see the first video reminding me the value of the subscription, targeting the most likely pain points that I have depending on how long I've been a subscriber. Step 1. Step 2, all of the custom treatments, cancellation reasons should have like a custom treatment. And the custom treatments they have, they're like good, but my perspective is they can be better. Some of them were a little bit too short. They basically said, okay, like skip the next delivery. No, I want to see more content. Tell me why I shouldn't skip it, and then allow me to skip it. And at the end, you want to have save offers. Save offers are what? They are essentially last-ditch attempts to retain subscriber. And those can be discounts, they can be gift with next purchase, can be free shipping, it can be like a bunch of different things. This is like the absolute last step that you have. And then I just want to call out that what they have here, reactivate and switch, is a good page. It's a good execution because I can just click this, boom, and then they are getting, like, I'm getting a better value, and then, like, I can just reactivate and skip the next step. I want to just like call out a few other things that in my perspective were a little bit odd in my experience. I received this email when I subscribed, which is in German. Now, I assume that they have the USA markets and they have the European markets. and probably German is the biggest European market. And then they haven't really done proper segmentation of countries. Like this should be fine in the DACH region, but I'm not in Germany, I'm not in Switzerland, I'm not in any of those countries. So this doesn't make a lot of sense. Probably you should fix this, AG1, if you're watching. And then the other thing that I want to call out is this particular email here, which I received after I purchased, which is fine. You see it says volume 5. So this is probably part of a series of campaigns that they're sending. And then what it does is that it promotes the vitamin product, which is good. They've correctly identified, I purchased AG1. I'm not gonna probably purchase before I even haven't received it yet, so they promote another product. But here's the miss. When you click on this, it actually lands you on the main website. And in this case, it leads to my canceled subscription. If I was not logged in, it would just be the homepage. So not the best, right? Like you wanna drive me to the product page so that I can buy it right away, or if not this, you want to drive me to log into my customer portal so that I can then log in and add it with one click. If you're not logged in, this drives you to the homepage, which is not ideal. Now, let's talk about takeaways that you can apply to your own brand in context. The first thing, which I hopefully explained in enough detail, is that your front-end offer is absolutely everything. It's more important than any email you'll send. If you're not converting 80 or even 90% of your customers into subscribers right away, I promise you there's room to optimize your landing page and subscription offering. Your number one goal for your subscriber customers should do what? Help them create a habit around taking the product. So you want to allay all of the concerns they have. You want to answer all of the questions that they may have. And then you want to give them A, an easy way to create a habit, and B, the information they need to believe that the habit is worth it, that the product will actually benefit them. You have to essentially anchor them into a daily ritual. That's how you can most easily help them do this. And the welcome kit that AG1 offers they offer it because of this, so that they make it easy for you to start taking the product, and then they tell you just take it first thing in the morning, and boom, you start doing this. It becomes something that you do like brushing your teeth. The other thing is when we talk about converting prospects as a whole, frankly, you need to be aggressive. You need to talk discount, you need to talk benefits, clear comparisons, us versus them, timeline of results, scientific social proof. You don't want to talk about your brand story at that point. No, you want to, as much as possible, give them all of the conversion elements that originally got them interested through the ads and the landing page. Your email should more or less have the same type and style of content as your landing page does. And your best performing ad angles will more than likely be your best performing email and SMS angles as well. You also want to have a high frequency of content as a whole. You want to be having a high frequency to those that cancel also, which we did not see in this video, but I promise you, I'm going to start receiving a lot of, hey, click here to reactivate, get 20% off extra type of content. You have to be doing this. Even if you do everything perfectly, some people will cancel. You don't want to give up on them too easily. Try to bring them back. Reactivation is its own strategy that should have dedicated activity on the calendar, not just a couple of flows. The next thing, make your customer portal as frictionless as possible. A, and B, make the cancellation experience itself as persuasive as possible. AG1 does this okay, but it can do so in an even better and more effective way. Then the last thing is maybe don't welcome new subscribers in German when they're not German. Here's the real takeaway. Always go through your core user journeys periodically, once a quarter, and then identify and debug stupid little things like that ultimately just create the wrong first impression. If you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe and make sure you send it to someone that can benefit from it. If you haven't seen this channel before, there's tons of good content like this, and I'd love for you to subscribe because I promise you there's more high quality content coming your way really, really, really soon. Thank you for watching.